Caitlin Clark. Ladies, let me tell y'all something. You got to sit up there and pay attention to the rising tide. It lifts all boats. You can go out on the court and go at Caitlin Clark with the fierceness that your competitive juices demand. But in the process of doing that, you learn to love that girl.
When did you sort of accept that your life wasn't going to be the same anymore? You weren't going to be able to do like maybe normal people things. Obviously, you want to be a great basketball player, but I don't know if you wanted all of this.
Yeah, I think honestly, probably after my junior year of basketball in college, I think that, but obviously it's kind of grown on a level that's a lot different than when it was then. So I probably still don't really go about my life in the way that I probably should. Like, I still try to do normal things and live as a normal person. Like, my life hasn't changed much. I think just continuing to be aware of your surroundings and what you're doing. And Steve follows me around more over there in the corner. Don't mess with Steve. But no, I think, you know, I'm still 22 years old and trying to navigate life and enjoy everything that life has to offer. You know, still have fun. That's the point. That's one of the things that has got me to this point is like I've had a lot of fun playing basketball, and that's exactly who I am off the court too, is like very easygoing, and I like to have fun. I like to be around people, so I try to do that as much as I can, honestly.
I love this woman. I really do. I love this young lady. I had the pleasure of doing an event with her, you know, during Iowa's homecoming, because my man Mark Shapiro for WME took me down there, and we were a panelist. 10,000 people showed up. It was absolutely phenomenal. This girl is the best in the world on a collegiate women's level. I don't care what anybody says. There's nobody better than her. She is a sensational talent. No question about it. She is the Steph Curry of women's basketball. That is what I call her. How many games is this now? That's her 38th career 30-point-plus game as a college basketball player. You know, she's done 40-plus several times. She's sensational. She's a marksman extraordinaire, and she's a wonderful, wonderful person, incredibly articulate as well. And I think that what you'll see is the WNBA. You'll see people clamoring for her. Just watch the game, because we love the women's game. I enjoyed it when I was at the WNBA finals.
Stephen A. Smith has had enough of Sheryl Swoopes' blatant attempts to discredit Caitlin Clark's greatness.
Caitlin Clark, another three-pointer. 6 threes on the night. And in enemy territory gets this kind of salute as she exits the game.
Is this enemy territory? Because I've seen a lot of Caitlin Clark jerseys.
It is no hyperbole to say that Caitlin Clark is putting together one of the most legendary rookie seasons of all time. Expectations were at an all-time high after she announced that she would be taking her talents to the WNBA. Right away, there were a bunch of former players pumping the brakes and saying that she wouldn't just stroll on into the league and dominate. But some believe that she could do just that. Hate naturally follows greatness. People are envious of what Caitlin has already accomplished. However, normally those who hate haven't accomplished much in their life, which is why it is surprising to see other WNBA legends and vets hate on Caitlin. And by the end of this video, you will see why Sheryl Swoopes is the biggest Caitlin Clark hater. Swoopes has been going at Caitlin since her college days and even put out false narratives about Caitlin. But hey, we can all have bad takes. You can't hit on everything. However, Swoopes also showed that she had an agenda against Caitlin early on because she claimed that Clark got her NCAA points record via shots and volume rather than quality, and that she needed more time to beat Kelsey Plum's score before she later apologized for uninformed thoughts. And then on top of that, she simply lied several times and she was trying to downplay Caitlin's achievements in college.
So if Kelsey Plum set that record in 4 years, well, Caitlin should have broke that record in 4 years. But because there's a COVID year and then there's another year, you know what I mean? So she's already had an extra year to break that record. So is it truly a broken record?
What Swoopes is talking about here is the women's all-time scoring record that Caitlin set, and in doing so broke Kelsey Plum's previous record. However, Caitlin actually broke the record in less than 4 years, so Swoopes was hating for no reason. But it didn't end just there.
Like he or she's killing them, but you have a 25-year-old playing against a 20-year-old. Like, you should be killing them. Because you've been doing it a lot longer than they have.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure, but I know she can come back another year.
Here, she is blatantly lying by saying that Caitlin was 25 years old when she was dominating in college, when in fact, Caitlin is actually only 22 years old. At least if you're going to hate, you should do it in a clever manner so that it's not so obvious. Stephen A. Smith has also called her out for her extremely poor take.
Clark and the Fever currently lead the WNBA in average game attendance and per game TV viewership. But despite the attendance and viewership records, there seems to be some haterade in the league in regards to Clark, starting with WNBA legend Sheryl Swoopes herself.
Stephen A. was referring to Swoopes' extremely biased take on Indiana's recent rise in the standings. Swoopes showed how petty she can really be when she decided to credit players like Lexi Hull, Kelsey Mitchell, and Aaliyah Boston, who have also been great since the team's return from the Olympic break, but there was never a mention of the Fever star point guard. She believes Indiana will keep moving up in the standings if they are able to keep playing at this level, especially with Hull, Mitchell, and Boston's success.
Shout out to Lexi Hull. I'm a big Lexi Hull fan. Watch her in AU. Lexi Hull shot the leather off the ball in their game against Seattle and just couldn't miss. Kelsey Mitchell is just stroking. She is just shooting the basketball. Aaliyah Boston, almost a triple-double.
Conveniently, she forgot about Caitlin's historic record. Heck, Swoopes gave Angel Reese a shout-out instead for losing a game.
Before I get into that, I'm going to say this. Shout out to Angel Reese, even in a loss. Listen, 20 boards.
It's crazy.
20 boards. Say what you want to say about how she's getting all these rebounds. You can get 20 rebounds. I don't care if you're rebounding your own.
What's even funnier is the fact that Caitlin has continued to set new records. After averaging 24 points, 8.5 assists, and 5.2 rebounds per game in August, Caitlin was named the Rookie of the Month for the third time and August Eastern Conference Player of the Month. With this honor, Clark became the first rookie in WNBA history to earn the Player of the Month award. On September 4th, the Fever beat the Los Angeles in a 93-86 win, with Clark posting 24 points, 10 rebounds, and 10 assists, marking her second career triple-double. During this game, she registered her 100th three-pointer made, making her the first to achieve in a rookie season and the fastest player in WNBA history to do so. And it took her just 34 games. It was also Clark's third straight game with at least 20 points and 10 assists, equaling the Courtney Vandersloot streak from 2017 as the longest in WNBA history. But we are unlikely to see Swoopes give Caitlin any credit for these record-breaking stats. In fact, she has doubled down on her hate, which really calls into question why the former three-time WNBA MVP has an issue with Caitlin. Her hate even caused a rather awkward moment on air when the Dallas Wings took on the Las Vegas Aces on NBA TV. While Clark obviously was not a part of the game Swoopes was calling, she did make a brief cameo during a stoppage in play, as play-by-play man Ron Thulin noted the WNBA's Players of the Week. As Thulin called attention to Clark's impressive week, in which she averaged 25 points, 9 assists, and 5 rebounds, Swoopes remained noticeably silent, not saying a word until play resumed. While Thulin was the one who started the read, there were multiple dead spots in the brief segment that one would have expected the analyst's voice to fill. Typically, the play-by-play person tells you what's happening and the analyst provides his or her insight, which did not happen in this instance.
Got to go to the Players of the Week. Both of them had outstanding weeks, and they're the next two opponents for the Wings. Caitlin Clark will be here on Sunday for the week, averaged 25, and Avisa Collier averaged over 25. And, of course, the Lynx here Friday at 6:30 on ION. And then the Fever come here at 3 o'clock before a sellout crowd. Tough stretch for Dallas.
It's almost like Swoopes is allergic to giving Caitlin her credit. However, when Stephen A. called out Swoopes for her blatant lies and her allowing her biases to get the best of her, she responded by calling him a coward. Naturally, this irritated Stephen A.
How you gonna mention the Indiana Fever without Caitlin Clark's name even coming up? So then after that, Sheryl Swoopes engages in levels of immaturity. There's no way to slice it. I'm not gonna insult this champion, this great basketball mind, this phenomenally accomplished Hall of Famer. I'm not gonna insult her. All I'm gonna say is it was pretty damn immature to come back at me like that.
Stephen A. doesn't often take the high road. He is usually more combative, but there is no need for him to get personal because it is blatant that Swoopes is in the wrong. She is wrong for her personal attacks on Stephen A. and wrong for her horrible takes on Caitlin Clark and the Indiana Fever. Stephen A. never went low. He never attacked her. He simply pointed out that she is doing a poor job.
Called me an effing coward because I called you out for not doing your job? So you on a podcast, that means you don't have to do your job? I mean, the bottom line is this: she engaged in a level of immaturity. Let's just call it what it is. I mean, to just bite at me like that, oh, why? Because what did I say? What did I say?
Since the WNBA season started, there has been this underlying narrative that certain media members and ex-players are going out of their way to undermine Caitlin's accomplishments. And now there seems to be even more evidence for this narrative, which is an extremely bad look for the league.
All Sheryl Swoopes did was validate all the speculation that there's folks hating on Caitlin Clark. That's all she did.
Caitlin must be used to the hate by now, though. There have been a few instances where opposing players have hit her with dirty shots that should have resulted in ejections, but weren't. Not to mention the overly physical defense that is constantly being played on her. The type of defense that wouldn't be tolerated against any other player, but for some reason against Caitlin, it is fair game. Instead of giving Caitlin credit for elevating her teammates, Swoopes is pretending to ignore her impact. This is a pretty blatant as well, seeing that when any other playmaker improves their team's efficiency and helps bring out another level of play, they get the credit, but not Caitlin.
Caitlin Clark is coming. Some people think she's already arrived. I don't. I think she's going to be even better. And I think that what she has done for women's basketball, especially in this country, has been phenomenal.
Well, when you're a superstar, you have to do more than win games. You have to generate views. That's part of the deal. And in that sense, she has exceeded expectation. Not only has she been rewriting history on the court, but she is changing the way the organization does business.
Ain't hate. Rising tide lifts all boats. Whatever it takes for everybody to get fed, I'm all for it. You a WNBA player? Caitlin Clark gonna get you paid. I'd figure out a way to be her friend.
At this point, if you aren't standing with Caitlin, you are the odd one out. Right now, Sheryl Swoopes is exposing herself and her biases with each one of her outlandish takes. Soon enough, people will know her as the Caitlin Clark hater rather than the Hall of Famer that she is, and she will only have herself to blame for it. It's safe to say that Caitlin entered the WNBA season with higher expectations than any other rookie. Right away, people expected her to not only dominate, but carry the league on her shoulders. Most rookies will come into the league and ride the bench for a while and work on their skill set. A few special cases, well, they might start right away. And then there are the ultra special cases who not only start, but make a big impact. Caitlin went beyond this. She was tasked with leading the Indiana Fever back to relevance after a 7-year playoff drought, along with carrying the WNBA to new heights. What other rookies had to take on such a responsibility? Along with the record for the most consecutive point-assist double-doubles in a rookie season, the most double-doubles by a rookie guard, the first rookie to record a triple-double, the single-game leader in three-point field goals made by a rookie, and she is the youngest player to record a double-double with points and assists in back-to-back games. Yet, she still has haters. Swoopes can't even deny it at this point because people have begun to pull out the receipts. Jealousy and envy are never a good look, especially when you yourself were once great. You had your time in the limelight, now it's someone else's turn. LeBron James had Skip Bayless, and Caitlin Clark has Sheryl Swoopes.